Transport of CO2. First, in tissue, glucose will be oxidized and it produces carbon dioxide, water, and energy. Energy will be utilized for our daily activities. Water also is a metabolic water which can be utilized in our body, and CO2 has to reach the lungs and it should be expelled out. Here, CO2 will diffuse into the blood in three forms, and it will be transported to the alveoli of the lungs. First form, through plasma in dissolved form. About 7% of CO2 will be transported like this. It will be dissolved in solution, and in the form of solution it is transported to the lungs. It has high solubility in plasma than O2. So only 3% of O2 will be transported as solution dissolved in plasma, whereas it is 7% of CO2 will be transported in dissolved state. As carbonate ions, about 70% of the CO2 will be transported as bicarbonate ions, that is through plasma only, and CO2 diffuses into RBC where it binds with water and forms carbonic acid, and this carbonic acid will be again forming hydrogen and bicarbonate ions. So these bicarbonate ions will be transported through the plasma, and again they re-enter the RBC and they unite with the hydrogen to form carbonic acid with the help of carbonic anhydrase, and with the help of carbonic anhydrase this carbonic acid again forms CO2 and H2O, which will CO2 will be expelled outside. So here in tissue, partial pressure of carbon dioxide is more due to catabolism, that is respiration, that will enter into the blood which contain RBC and plasma. So through plasma 7% will be carried to the lungs, and then again in the RBC it will be forming bicarbonate ions. Bicarbonate ions again enter into the plasma, which are formed in RBC, so they are carried to the lungs as bicarbonate ions. At the alveolar site of the lungs, this process is reversed. That means CO2 and H2O will be formed. CO2 and H2O will be formed from bicarbonate and hydrogen ions. So here bicarbonate and hydrogen ions with the help of carbonic anhydrase form carbonic acid, and with the help of carbonic anhydrase again it forms into water and carbon dioxide which will be released out. So here the same thing is explained. Bicarbonate which is present in the plasma re-enter RBC and bind with H plus forming carbonic acid. With the help of carbonic anhydrase it splits into CO2 and H2O. CO2 through blood it, and so from the blood it is transferred to the lungs where PCO2 is low. Now third by RBC as carbaminohemoglobin. About 20 to 25% of CO2 will be transported as carbaminohemoglobin. As bicarbonate 70% will be transported as bicarbonate. So here 20 to 25% of CO2 will be transported as carbaminohemoglobin. CO2 enters RBC and forms reversible compound, that is HbCO2, carbaminohemoglobin. It binds with amino group of globin protein, not with heme like oxygen. So this is the protein part of the hemoglobin. This reaction is similar to oxygen but not with heme. It binds with protein part of the hemoglobin. Hb plus CO2 giving rise to HbCO2, that is carbaminohemoglobin. So the factors that affect the binding of CO2 with Hb is, in tissues partial pressure of CO2 will be higher due to catabolism, due to respiration, and low PO2 favors the binding of CO2 with Hb, forming HbCO2, that is carbaminohemoglobin, and in alveoli PCO2 will be low and high PO2 favors the dissociation of CO2 from Hb. So Hb plus CO2 will be formed. CO2 bound to Hb from tissues is delivered at the alveoli where it is exhaled out. Generally, under normal conditions, 100 ml of blood will deliver 4 ml of CO2 to the alveoli. That's it.